Welcome to Coffee with Tim Black. And today I have an announcement for all of you Johnsons out there. Tulsi Gabbard endorsed Joe Biden. No one twisted her arm. No one threatened her. She's not under house arrest. She did it in a video. Here goes the video, and then we can talk about it. You know, I got a lot to say.
Our nation is facing an unprecedented global crisis that highlights the inextricable bonds of humanity and how foreign policy and domestic policy are inseparable. We are all in this together, and we must all rise to meet this moment in service to our country and our fellow man. After the terrorist attack by al-Qaeda on our country on 9/11, we stood together as Americans, motivated to serve, marshaling our forces to defeat our common enemy. I and so many Americans all across this country enlisted in the military to do just that. My motivation has been to serve God, our country, and the American people as best I can. After Tuesday's election, it's clear that Democratic primary voters have chosen Vice President Joe Biden to be the person who will take on President Trump in the general election. I know Vice President Biden and his wife, and I'm grateful to have called his son, Beau, a friend, who also served in the National Guard. Now, although I may not agree with the Vice President on every issue, I know that he has a good heart, and he's motivated by his love for our country and the American people. I'm confident that he will lead our country guided by the spirit of aloha, respect, and compassion, and thus help heal the divisiveness that has been tearing our country apart. So today, I'm suspending my presidential campaign and offering my full support to Vice President Joe Biden in his quest to bring our country together.
All right. Before I get into this, I want you to go ahead and apologize now. Yeah, go ahead and apologize, Tulsi Kratz. Go ahead. All the times you were in my timeline complaining because I didn't support her, because I said I didn't believe in her, something about her is off. Sounds like she's not being totally honest. Let's start with the gratuitous mentioning of Beau Biden several times. What does that have to do with Joe Biden being a good president? Yeah, like, why keep bringing up his dead son? Why would that influence you picking Joe Biden? What does that have to do with it? Those two things don't go together, first of all. That don't make any sense. And goodness gracious, there's a lot of platitudes in your conversation. You know, a lot of platitude, like a lot of lofty, non-specific shit we don't need to hear. About God and the Lord, the emotions and the aloha. We're tired. I'm tired. If I don't have to hear aloha again for the next 20 years, I'm good with that. I'm good. I wish the corona would get the aloha and just handle that. No more aloha. All right, so there's a lot of things I had problems with Tulsi Gabbard's endorsement. First of all, why has Tulsi Gabbard been in this race this long? So please tell me why she stayed in the race. There was no reason for her to stay in the race. None at all. She ended up with 2 delegates, Johnson. 2. She spent millions of dollars and only got 2 more delegates than I did. All right? So my thing is, it's not just, see, like right now, it doesn't matter who she endorses. She has really no credibility. She has no gravitas. She has what? What does she, like at this point? It would have been a statement before. Now it's symbolic of anything. And it only serves to help her. It doesn't really help Biden. And it hurts Bernie in a way, but it kind of helps him because she's kind of toxic. But the point is, from her perspective, she should have done this a month ago. There was no reason for Tulsi Gabbard to stay in the race. Now, I know her supporters wanted her to, but there was no real reason. She had no shot for a long time. Now, of course, it looked like Bernie was going to run away with the election. It looked like Bernie was going to kill it right after Nevada, and then South Carolina happened. And that's when Tulsi Gabbard should have jumped out there and supported Bernie Sanders. Right around then, it would have solidified her as a true ally of Bernie Sanders. See, we're not what we say we are, we're what we actually do. So while all the Tulsi supporters and Tulsi boosters that are on YouTube, and we're not going to name names, but while they were doing all of that, the bottom line was the strongest progressive candidate, and to my opinion, the only progressive candidate in this race, Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard should have endorsed him then. Now, if she did not have the temerity to jump out and endorse Bernie after South Carolina, she had to do it, man, after Super Tuesday. I mean, come on, Bernie was still viably doing his thing. He went on to win California, the largest state in the country, and she didn't endorse him. Don't tell me that there's a VP slot waiting for her or something. There may be something waiting for her. I don't know what it is, but it's not a VP slot, okay? Tulsi Gabbard did what was in the best interest of Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard probably wanted stuff, and nobody offered her anything, so she sat back. That's probably the same thing that happened with Elizabeth Warren. But if we're going to diss and come after Elizabeth Warren and come after Andrew Yang, we have to come after Tulsi Gabbard as well, because Tulsi Gabbard failed us. Tulsi Gabbard failed us, Andrew Yang failed us, Elizabeth Warren failed us. And here's the thing. They really didn't. They didn't really fail us because they really weren't progressive to begin with. They were using the moniker of progressivism when it was convenient, and then doing their own thing. We're the ones who gave them any credit they didn't deserve. So Andrew Yang had UBI. Tulsi Gabbard said she wanted to end wars. She ends up endorsing the candidate with the most wars. I mean, Joe Biden's more of a warmonger than Donald Trump. Your key thing about Tulsi is no more war, and she endorses the war candidate. And then she says, oh, it's because of the Democratic Party. What about that stuff about voting present, not voting nay or for, yay or nay, on the whole Russia investigation? She abstained, and I had to listen to weeks of why it was gutsy for her to abstain. That was gutsy. But now, it's not. Now, what do you say now that Tulsi Gabbard falls in behind Joe Biden? And don't tell me it's the same thing as Bernie Sanders if at the end of this he endorses Joe Biden. If Bernie does that, which I will, man, I hope that day doesn't come, okay? But if that day comes, he truly will be trying to bring the country together. Who is Tulsi bringing together? A bunch of moderate liberals and 100 Tulsi fans with a box of crayons and some gum and a couple of Hawaii scarves or whatever that thing is called. Like, what is she bringing? What is she bringing to the table, really? So, look, I don't want to be too dismissive. I don't want to be too upset about it. But, damn it, I told you so. Tulsi Gabbard's been in this for Tulsi Gabbard the whole time. I'm sorry you just now figured it out. Some of you still haven't figured it out. That's okay. We should give you a time to absorb this. But the reality is, the only people that endorsed Bernie Sanders, the progressive candidate in this race, was Marianne Williamson and Bill de Blasio. Not Andrew Yang. He had an excuse. Oh, I want to do the best thing that people want to do, and we have to do the thing that everyone else is doing. And Tulsi Gabbard with the aloha and the spirit of America and platitudes and love and mahalo. And Elizabeth Warren, who's now still somewhere ducking and dodging the question about her endorsement. So that's it. Follow me at Real Tim Black on Facebook and Twitter. Tulsi Gabbard endorsed Joe Biden, and there is not an excuse long enough or big enough to make for it. It is what it is. Accept it. When people show you who they are, accept it, Johnson.